wat studio is. Ek gaan nou vinnig eers na Daniel laat terugkom. Waar is my participants? Okay, is dat allemaal so stadig stelselmatig terugkom. Sy. Thank you very much, everybody, for being very patient. As I said, it's obviously the internet speed is not going to be amazing. It's already a 500% improvement from last year, because last year we also had the same problem. So I have to compliment everybody that worked on improving the system over the last 2 months. Obviously, our IT guys need to get a lot of credit for that. I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I also don't want to be devil's advocate here, but because as soon as things start going too well, then ESCOM will start load shedding again and then we're back to square one. So that's an additional challenge, but let's address that when we experience it. I'm going to go back to that screen where we finished off. I think we were on that page with the assignment. Yep. And as I was saying to Anushka, Anushka in class, is that we were discussing Canvas in general, and obviously it's new to all of us, but I think I initially had my own reservations, but it's only because usually you're uncertain about something if or unsure and have a reservation towards something. If you are unsure about something and do not have the information, if you have the information, then obviously it's so much easier to understand. And once you go through the menu and you start playing around and you find things, it's fine. I'm going to for the first time myself to convert the Zoom recording, and if you go into Canvas, on the Canvas page it says Studio. If you click on Studio, I just want to indicate videos that you upload, not Zoom sessions, would be on that particular page. If you go into Studio, they will. Okay. You see, there's no, at the moment, there's no videos there because we haven't uploaded any videos, but that's where you will find any videos, any video recordings. And obviously it says date added. There will be, this session will be on there once I've converted it this afternoon. So if I understand the system correctly, I do not have to now convert the Zoom session into a YouTube video and then upload it here. It can be uploaded directly from Zoom. But I will see how that works this afternoon. But let's go back to the assignment. Sorry. Protein too. Get the Smith of protein. Oops, lazy. Week 1, and we go back to our assignment. Click on assignment and click on the PDF. That is the assignment. We left where at we were basically discussing question 1 of your assignment, what's expected of you, and we'll revisit this because as we suggest, as I was talking to Anushka during a short break now, Canvas is we probably don't know the half of what Canvas can do, and we'll obviously get to know it as we work on it. But the benefit here is that it's almost a sort of a one-stop shop. You're on this page, you're on your particular dashboard, you're on your particular module, and just by moving around, you'll find everything because everything is linked and the assignments are there already, and you don't have to find anything in a different on a different platform. You can use the same platform, just maybe a different page. Right. So to continue with question one, um, basically, just to summarize again, question one, you go onto, you do Google search, find what Lime, what services Lime is offering, find out what made them successful, what worked for them, motivate and indicate to me if you think it can work in South Africa as well, because they are probably still going to launch here. And then what methods have they used to market their service? For question two is something that probably you have had some exposure to in the past. I'm not sure. Students, have you covered, is consumer behavior one of your subjects in your first or second year? I'm not sure if who do consumer behavior, but I lectured on consumer behavior. So I know that there are second years, but I can't recall if it was also for the event management, event marketing students. But question two, which is chapter 3 in your services marketing textbook. And if you don't know, if you I'm not going to buy the textbook for yourself or get the ebook version or whatever. The detail of the textbook is obviously also on your weekly page under your textbook. If you go into resources for every week, that orange, that purple block that we clicked on, you find your resources for the week, you'll see that there's the detail of the book itself, the name and the author. If you go onto your slides, you'll see that a picture of the front page of your manual, Services Marketing, a Contemporary Approach, the 3rd edition. You'll find that there's a picture of the manual as well, for those who are going to, if you haven't, bought the textbook, the prescribed textbook. To get back to question 2, consumer behavior, if you've done it in your second year, this shouldn't be too difficult a question. If not, this particular question refers to chapter 3 and 4 in your textbook on services marketing. And that is the decision-making process that the consumer goes through. Which factors influence why customers make certain decisions? What happens before a customer make a decision? What factors and influences play a role? Maybe your friends in the reference group, maybe your mates who's in the cycling club or the football club or whatever sports club that you are a member at. Maybe a father, maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend, maybe an uncle who's an expert in a particular field. Those are all people that you can use as references if you need more information before you make a certain decision. Obviously, the more expensive the particular service is that you're going to obtain, the more information and the more references you're going to use. If it's just something that costs a couple of bucks, you're not going to go through that process. Now, the process that a consumer goes through when he or she makes a decision on buying a product is not vastly different to the process they go through when they purchase a service. Obviously, because it's services marketing, this module, we'll be focusing on the process that the customer goes through to make a decision to buy a service. It could be an insurance policy, it could be a medical scheme, it could be using a particular consultant to help you with investments, it could be your garden service, whatever service, it could be a doctor. If I was new in a certain area, and that's really, I mean, I moved into where I stay right now a week before lockdown in March last year. So as gradually the different levels, or we move through the different levels of lockdown, I could actually get out, but I had to find a new doctor that I'm not going to drive 10 k's to go to my previous doctor. I'm going to go to the one that's closest. And when I had my incident with my knee in January, that was part of the process. And the first thing I did is I actually phoned somebody. I asked my neighbor. I said, "Listen, where's the closest doctors?" I mean, and he gave me directions. And I also phoned my previous doctor. Once I have found a new one, before I went there, I asked my previous doctor, I said, "Listen, do you know Dr. So-and-so? And is it, would you recommend him?" And so that's what you do. And that's the process I went through just recently before I obtained the service of a new GP. So question two is about the pre-purchase stage, because there are different stages. There are three stages in the consumer decision-making process, or five stages. We're only going to focus on three of those stages, okay? Which is the awareness of the need, the information search, and evaluation of the alternative service providers. Those are the 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Those are the three pre-purchase stages. And that is what we want you to obviously apply now to Lime. What would you as a consumer, how would you experience each of those three pre-purchase stages if you are considering to use a service like Lime, for instance? Okay. First time you used Uber, did you do any research beforehand, or is it okay, everybody else uses Uber and whatever? I mean, you didn't look at the advantages and disadvantages. You just got in and there we go. I'm pretty sure that not everybody goes through that. Some people do. Maybe you were stuck. Maybe you had a very good evening and you couldn't drive home and you didn't want to drive home and therefore you needed their service. So you didn't really bother to, and you weren't really in a position to make any proper research as to the possible dangers and the advantages, disadvantages. But somebody who's maybe planning a business trip and hasn't got anybody who can drop him off at the airport and collect him, would probably go through a proper search beforehand and look at different alternatives. Are you going to use a traditional taxi? Are you going to use what other alternatives is available to you? So that's what question two is about. As you can see, it's not a tough assignment at all. It's more than enough time, but also please, like we always do not leave it till do not leave it till the 26th of April to submit. People, any questions at this stage? Anybody have any questions regarding anything? It doesn't have to be related to the particular assignment. It could be anything. Maybe something you want me to repeat. Where do I find this? On what page do I need to go to? I'm going to go back to the homepage of services marketing, and then we can take it from there if there's any questions. Anybody has any questions? No questions?
No, sir.
Either everybody is left already, or fast asleep, or...
No, sir. No questions from me.
No questions. It's a lot of information again, but remember that's at the start of every module, every year. If it's in July, middle of the year, if it's the start of the year, it's always like this. Initially, we struggle because we need to find our feet. It's something new. Then on the other hand, we've also haven't had that much to do since, or some of us, most of us, probably didn't do a lot since the end of last year. Although it feels like, wow, you don't have enough energy and enthusiasm for the year. We quickly get into the swing of things. No worry about that. But again, if there's anything, please let me know. I will, as I said, I will set up the WhatsApp group this afternoon, and it's much easier just to quickly send a WhatsApp and say, what, and I can actually quickly say to you, go to that page, do this, or send me a mail. I'll also include my email address for any questions that you might have. But yeah, welcome to the new year. Welcome to everybody. We can, on a later occasion, share all your COVID experiences that you've had, close calls or not. At least the one thing I do know about being in hospital for 4 weeks with 2 knee operations is that I do not have COVID. I do not have cholesterol. I do not have high blood pressure. I do not have any sugar level issues because all of those things were tested. So that's the positive. Yes, I think we all have our COVID experiences. Some good, some bad. My condolences to anybody who might have lost friends or close family, because yeah, we all seem to sort of live our lives, and then until something happens to you or somebody close to you, then it becomes real. But I look forward to this year. I've gone through the entire, obviously, as you can see, I've gone up to week 17 already with the course, which is the entire course basically. So I've gone through all of the things, and I think that's for me where Canvas have been of great benefit, because it's always nice to know at the start where you're going to end. I know that you don't know it yet. I've gone through the entire manual. I've done all the presentations. I've uploaded everything to Canvas. So I've already know what every week of the 17 weeks look like. And therefore I know what waits for you in week 18. I think if we all have that luxury, it would be much easier, any course. But also during summer school, attended sessions or did sessions with students who did not cope well with COVID last year for various reasons, and they had to redo modules so they can continue with their second or third years. And the one third year student actually said to me, "Sir, you know what? Now that I do this, I actually now understand it. I had to get to my third year to actually understand the work. As we start applying stuff, it makes sense to me." And he did very well. He got 85% for his exam that he wrote on something that he previously didn't pass. And it was purely because all of a sudden the penny dropped and things started making sense. I think your experience in year 3 now would be similar. A lot of things are now being, oh yes, I can remember that's what we did in year 2 in that module. Ah, now I see where it fits in. So that's usually, we'll have a lot of aha moments and a lot of epiphanies in your third year usually. So yeah, you can count on me. If I don't know something, I'm also in the same situation as you. There's no lecturer at Prestige in any course, on any module, who are different to any of you. We just started what you are starting, or started last Wednesday. We started in January already. That's why we're slightly ahead. But we're in this together. We're going to get to know the benefits of the new platform together. We're going to make mistakes together. It's all fine. And yeah, otherwise I wish you well. Classes, I think we have class tomorrow again, eh? I think it's the 4th period tomorrow. And then we'll start with chapter 1. For those who want to get ahead, you now know that everything is already on, all the slides are already on I almost said Moodle, it's already on Canvas in week 1 under your resources. If I go down, I just want to show you, if anybody wants to prepare for tomorrow, which I know none of you will, but if there's anybody who want to, you go to your homepage, which I'm on now with the modules and the structures. You go to week 1, which is now. You click on week 1. You'll see that there's weekly resources. That little purple block there on your right hand side. You click on your weekly resources. Your weekly resources will take you to that page, which on the class material would have your PDF, which are the slides for chapter 1. Okay, if anybody wants to read anything in advance and they haven't got the manual, that's where you'll get the information of what we'll do for the rest of this week. Okay, if nobody, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. If there's nobody who has any questions, that's the end of today's session. Thanks very much. If you have questions, you're more welcome to ask me, or maybe just write it down if something pops into your head before tomorrow, and we can ask it in class. Okay. Right. Use the same link for tomorrow, and I'll see you 4th period, which I think is 12:20. Great. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Paige, and everybody. See you guys tomorrow.